Xbox keeps finding ways to make things worse. What's up, y'all? I'm Ray, and this is my channel, Xbox Ready, and damn, it's been a tough ass week to be an Xbox fan. I used to make the comparison that being an Xbox fan is kind of like being a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, which I know very well because I grew up in Texas. I've been rooting for them my entire life. And if you know anything about the NFL, you know that that is a life full of pain and disappointment year in and year out. It's not like they're objectively bad every year, like the winless Lions team or like the Cleveland Browns, like 1-16 seasons. No, they do this terrible thing that's almost worse than any of that, just straight losing, because they make you think that they're good. They give you hope going into the season. Oh, there's so much talent at the skill positions. Oh, so much talent on the defensive side of the ball. And then, you know, sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they go 13-3 in the regular season, secure home field advantage for the playoffs, only to have it all catastrophically implode by the 49ers or the Green Bay Packers, or you go back further than that. They just find a way to disappoint you. Being an Xbox fan a lot of the times feels the same. Gosh, I remember when I used to do these two host videos with my buddy Jimmy, and we'd get on and we say that we're realistic Xbox fans. We were making videos during the time like 2022 where there was like no first party games, delays to Redfall and Starfield. And I remember people getting so mad at that. I remember seeing a whole Twitter thread being like, Xbox Ready, they're fake Xbox fans. He gets on there with his buddy Jimmy and says he's a realistic Xbox fan. He's just trying to profit off of us Xbox bros. Don't watch the channel, fake fan. Whatever happened to that, Ray? Whatever happened to realistic expectations, Ray? Damn it, I got swept up in all of the hype that Xbox was building, especially the hype around Game Pass. There was no bigger champion, or very few champions that were on the same level as me. I'd come on here day in and day out, video after video, talking about how awesome Game Pass was, how much I enjoyed my Ultimate subscription, even when they jacked up the price to $20 a month. You could probably find a video of me saying that like 2 weeks ago, but all of that has obviously shifted. You've heard it at this point. You must have. Everyone is talking about it. Major news outlets like the BBC, freaking politicians are weighing in. The recent price increases to Game Pass Ultimate and the restructuring of those lower tiers. The FTC is over there saying, ha ha ha, I told you so. I said exactly this was going to happen if we allowed this merger of Activision Blizzard and Microsoft. We're getting hit with reminders about the price increase directly on our consoles, like a full page ad, like they do with their other first party games and Call of Duty. And damn, it just, yeah. And somehow, Xbox has found a way to make it even worse. Now, with your Xbox Game Pass subscription, there's always been this really cool feature wherein if you buy a game in the Game Pass library, you get a discount. At minimum, usually it's 20% off, but it can go all the way to 50 sometimes. You also used to get a discount on DLCs related to those Game Pass titles. So if you wanted to buy, I don't know, the Hot Wheels DLC for Forza Horizon 5, you'd get a discount on that. Cool little perk, right? I thought so too. Well, that doesn't matter because you won't be able to do that anymore. You still get the discounts on the games, but that'll no longer apply to any DLC. Instead, you'll get a percentage of your purchase back in rewards points. And to clarify, Microsoft already put out a statement saying this is not specific to any one game and reflects all games and DLC purchases. Instead of a discount on the purchases, Ultimate and Premium subscribers will earn 10 and 5% respectively in points when purchasing select games and add-ons from the Game Pass library. Ultimate members continue to have a 20% discount on select games from the Game Pass library. On top of that, all rewards members will earn points when shopping games and add-ons on the store, while Premium and Ultimate subscribers will earn even more, 2 times and 4 times respectively. See more detail on the Game Pass program. Where, oh my god, like that whole second paragraph, I just tuned out. I don't even know, like that's so, I don't know. Like it makes sense, but it also doesn't. It's convoluted, it's confusing. interesting. And yeah, you can earn back points, but there's a limit. If you're an Ultimate subscriber, you can earn up to $100 worth of points, less so if you're on the other tiers. I feel like a lot more people would just like to have the straight discount so they don't feel like this weird need to churn in their Game Pass membership, make it a full-time job so they justify paying $30 a month or keeping their subscription active on the lower tiers. Because they've also said that you can't use these points to buy Game Pass. You have to use it on other stuff. You can't extend the service with the points, which is what a lot of people want to do. But no. Xbox, Microsoft, they can't have that. And a lot of people are wondering why? Why Xbox? Why ruin this really, really cool thing by jacking up the price so much? A lot of people are now looking at Activision Blizzard as the main culprit, specifically Call of Duty. When Microsoft first announced their intention to buy Activision Blizzard, it sent a seismic wave through the industry. It was crazy. It took a whole year for them to finalize a deal. Millions in legal battles, all in pursuit of the white whale, Candy Crush, Call of Duty. At the time, this seemed like a move that would put Xbox on the map. And in some ways it has. It boosted their revenue to crazy levels never before seen in Xbox history. But the cost may have very well been Xbox's soul. You see, Xbox had a problem. They previously made this pledge to bring all of their games day and date to Game Pass, which is not something that gels well with the yearly release cadence of Call of Duty. They rely on that opening window of sales to generate the majority of their revenue, and then they generate more revenue long-term with microtransactions like battle passes, seasons, new skins. So Xbox was faced with this problem. Well, we already made this commitment to bring all of our other games, including Bethesda titles, to Game Pass day and date. I guess we kind of have to do that with Call of Duty too. The other side of this is that it is well known that a game being on Game Pass titles means less sales for that game. That's why Bobby Kotick was like, I would never do a subscription service, put Call of Duty on a thing like that. That's stupid. When Xbox made the call to put Call of Duty games onto Game Pass, like Black Ops 6, it was definitely a win for gamers and consumers. No longer would we have to be forced to buy the new Call of Duty every year. We can try it as part of our subscription. Previously, I thought this was something that they'd be okay with because, well, it would boost Game Pass numbers and subscribers, and also they wouldn't miss out on the sales over on PlayStation or Steam. Well, now the true cost of Call of Duty being on Game Pass has come out, and it's something around $300 million in sales lost. Now, $300 million lost, that sounds that's a crazy number. I'm never going to see $300 million in my life. That's the budget of several video games. That's money that they can obviously reinvest in other Call of Duties, other Activision stuff, other Xbox business operating, anything. The timing of this news is a little bit crazy, but it still seems like a drop in the bucket compared to the $5 billion in revenue that was generated by Game Pass. Of course, we don't know the net profit of that. Game Pass is obviously a very expensive service to maintain. It was also confusing because Xbox was like, this is the biggest Call of Duty launch ever, talking about Black Ops 6. Even though it was on Game Pass, more people are on Call of Duty than ever before. This is crazy. We're doing numbers, baby. Obviously, in light of recent events and this news, well, we're starting to look back on those statements a little differently. These metrics of success and engagement, once again, mean nothing in terms of what Xbox is willing to give up in acts. They once said that they were really happy with how Hi-Fi Rush was performing, only to turn around and shut down the studio that made the game. And by locking Call of Duty, all Call of Duty, behind the ultimate tier of Game Pass, which is now $30, it turns out that once again, engagement in their game, the amount of players playing Call of Duty, it doesn't matter. They would rather have the money. They would rather have you pay them $30 a month to play it. If you're trying to do that through a subscription, and if you are, it's kind of crazy at this point at $30 a month. You just wait a couple months and you'll be able to buy the game and you own it. But what if we didn't have to pay $30? Apparently people are finding a loophole through Amazon because they're still selling codes for Game Pass Ultimate 3 months for $60, which would work out to $20 a month, that old price. This is a deal I would definitely jump on if you want to keep your Ultimate subscription for a little bit longer before they jack up the price. These are probably old codes that Amazon still has, and they'll keep selling them this bundle deal until they run out. There's also this other really weird loophole that will probably require most people to have a time machine in order to take advantage of. See, a couple of years ago, before there was Essential, Premium, and Ultimate, there was Game Pass Console, Game Pass Ultimate, and PC Game Pass. Both Console and Ultimate gave you access to those new day one games. Very different from today. But when Xbox increased the Game Pass prices the first time, and they took away that middle tier and renamed it to Game Pass Standard, took away those day one games, they were like, yeah, we're changing things up, but if you've been an active subscriber for Game Pass Console, you're getting grandfathered in. You're not getting changed over to the standard plan. You're going to stay on Game Pass Console. You'll get all the same benefits if you keep your subscription active. If you cancel it, re-sign up, that's not going to exist for you anymore. You're going to be on the standard tier and you lose those perks. Apparently, that is still in effect. If you still have console Game Pass from whatever 2 years ago, you will still be in that same tier. You're not getting transferred to standard. You're not getting transferred to premium. You will get to keep your same price, your same subscription, and get access to new day one games without having to pay $30. Now, as a reminder for anyone who may have forgotten, console Game Pass was $10.99 a month. We don't know how long that's going to be active. No way Xbox lets it roll for that much longer, but still, it exists. If you don't want to pay anything though, don't even worry, guys. Don't even worry, because amidst all of this craziness, Xbox, Microsoft, they're throwing us a bone. If you like to play your games through the cloud, that is. For the longest time, cloud gaming was locked behind Game Pass Ultimate, the most expensive tier. If you wanted to stream games through Xbox Cloud Gaming, whether through the Game Pass library or through this whole new stream your own games initiative that they got going on, you had to have an active Game Pass subscription, which always seemed a little bit weird because the whole point of cloud gaming is to forego the expensive hardware, get straight to the games, beam them right to your phone and into your eyeballs. And yeah, in order to do that, you had to pay $15-20 a month. There was a lot of speculation that they would eventually do a standalone cloud gaming tier. I don't know how many people would subscribe to that. Like, yeah, I only play games through the cloud. I don't know anyone like that. I've never heard of someone like that, but it still seemed like something Xbox wanted to explore, especially as they expanded out to Amazon Fire Sticks, Samsung TVs, LG TVs, cars now. Well, now cloud gaming is officially out of beta. It's a part of every single Game Pass tier. What is it? Essential? I don't even know anymore. Whatever used to be core, Essential, Premium, and Ultimate. But now there's a way that you can stream your Xbox games without being a subscriber to Game Pass. There is a catch though. You're gonna have to play with ads. According to The Verge, Microsoft is ready to announce a new tier of Xbox Cloud Gaming that'll be free, but you're gonna have to put up with ads. They're testing it right now. Employees can play a select few titles, and this will also include the ability to stream games that you own digitally, which is a pretty decent perk. That's pretty cool. And Tom Warren says that this also extends to free play days titles, which let you try the game out over the weekend. We're getting something, right, guys? Now, when I first saw this, I was like, how is this even gonna work? Are we gonna get hit with ads like every time we're booted out to the lobby in between matches and Gears Reloaded? But apparently the way it's gonna work is that they're gonna serve you like a 2-minute ad before your game starts streaming. Now, if they can incorporate this into the loading screen, that would be perfect. That like replace the little like spaceship going across the screen. Serve me an ad for McDonald's or Mountain Dew or something, I don't know, right? Before I go into plan. Now, here's a question for you guys. Would you take a reduced price on any of the tiers of Game Pass? I know that was something at one point that they were pondering, that they were thinking about. They were sending questionnaires out to people. If you can get day one games for like $22 a month, but you had to put up with some ads before you launch the game, would you do it? And to wrap up the video, let's talk a little bit about Forza Horizon 6. Now, just a week ago at Tokyo Game Show, man, the world was so different back then. Everyone was so hyped about this reveal. $30 Game Pass tier was the last thing on any of our minds, and people are still excited about it. Obviously, a lot less people are probably going to be playing it through Game Pass Ultimate, but I'm sure a lot of people are still going to be playing this game when it comes out in 2026. Well, we also got some news on where this game exactly is going to release. This shouldn't be a surprise at this point, but it's also coming out on PlayStation 5 and PC, of course. After the way Forza Horizon 5 performed on PlayStation 5, this is not a surprising move. Up until this point, it's been older games. Forza Horizon 5, obviously 4 years old at this point, Gears Reloaded, older Xbox games. So this shouldn't be a big deal, this shouldn't be surprising, but in light of everything else that's been happening this week with Xbox, the multi-platform issue is once again in the spotlight. I swear people were just starting to get over this. It was a big deal when they had that announcement on the Xbox official podcast. Only 4 games, guys, only 4 games right now. But by the end of 2024, I swear people were over it. I remember making a video after Gamescom last year when they announced that Indiana Jones was going to be coming out on PlayStation in spring 2025. And I got on here and I was like, this is crazy. There should be at least a year exclusivity. I don't know why they're doing this. I thought it was going to be a slam dunk with my audience. No, all of the comments were like, Ray, you're overreacting. You're making a big deal out of nothing. I don't know why you're complaining so much. I was like, oh, I was so taken aback. And then when Gears of War Reloaded was coming out and oh, it's coming to PlayStation as well, I got to show my buddy who had never really played Gears before, who was so excited that it was coming to PlayStation. I started thinking, man, maybe this is a cool thing. But now with Game Pass increasing the prices, people are looking at it a different way. Overnight, the decision for Xbox to make their games multi-platform went from a business-savvy move that was ensuring their business was future-proof with the ever-changing landscape of the video game industry to, oh, yeah, they really just wanted more money. It was out of greed. It was out of greed the whole time. That's why Xbox is green. Oh no, it's all starting to make sense now. Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I have to talk about today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.